everybody, I'm Michelle Zarell, and today we are going to put together the Spooky House, which is a 3D craft project made with SVG files from Dimensional Paper Cuts on Etsy. And I will go ahead and put a link in the bottom there so you can go ahead and get those files. This project was designed because I wanted a cute little Halloween house, but I didn't want to spend 3 hours putting it together. And I also wanted something that was easy enough that I could make with a family member who maybe didn't have as much crafting experience. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for crafting with me today. This piece is one piece, and that's going to be the alcove part. I'm going to put that off to the side for just a minute. This piece is all one piece, and this piece is the second story. Now, before we progress to putting it together, it's easier to go ahead and put the covering panels on. The covering panels are on the bottom. You can use any color you like, and it would be especially cool done in vellum on the back, because then you'd kind of get this spooky looking thing going through. These window pieces are not symmetrical. So if you go to put those little pieces on top and it doesn't fit, flip it over, because you can see there's one little thing here that's shorter than the other, and that makes it easy to line them up. So I'm gonna put this over to the side for a moment. This is the front of the house and the back of the house. They're interchangeable. And these are the sides of the house. Now, the front and the back, or the front and the back of the house, do not have windows on them, because if you can look here, you can see that this piece covers the front, and on the back you have the spider web, so there was really no need for an additional window. I put some double-sided tape here so that it would be easy to put the roof on. I don't know if you can tell or not, but in this one, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, it got a little warped here. So if you want to use a, I overglue. So that's as simple as it is. Today, I'm going to be making it with a pattern paper, which is from the Echo Park line, I Love Halloween. And hopefully then you won't be able to see as many glue lines as well. Okay, so we've got this, we've got this. Let's put them together. Super easy. You've got, I'm gonna put these right here for now, and let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna put some glue on here, and I told you I'm gonna over glue her, so hopefully I don't do that. I know they have the fine tip things that you can get, but I never had much luck with that. Okay, so you can see, to put it together, you put the glue, you match up your score lines right here. By the way, included in the download file are files for a solid score lined house as well as a dash score lined house. So depending on what machine you have and how you want to do that, that makes it simple. Another good way to make sure it's lined up good, fold them in half, make sure it meets up, which it does. So we're good to go on that piece. Okay, so there's like the front or the back, there's the side. Let's take another front or back, and we're gonna put some glue here. All right. The same thing. Make sure they're good. There we go. Oh, by the way, I also creased all of these off camera before we started. So that's always a good idea to do, is to take your pieces and give it a good crease. You can use a bone folder or whatever, just to make sure that they're creased before you put them together. It makes everything move a little easier with 3D projects. Match up those score lines. Okay, there we go with that. Now let's go ahead and close it up, and the bases of our, not the base, the body of our house will be finished. Okay, got that. All right, there are some score marks and glue tabs on the bottom. We're going to leave those alone for now. Those are to add to the base. So right now I'm going to let this dry and sit it off to the side. So we'll be ready to go with that. Speaking of the base, let's go ahead and put that together. This is the base piece. It's just basically a box. We have score lines. We're gonna fold those up. Here is a bone folder that came with, I think, a cutting board from We Are Memory Keepers. I have a nicer bone folder, but I lost it. So until I find it again, this one works great. When it comes to tools, whatever works, works. We don't need any fancy stuff. Not for this. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can see these on the camera. I'm hoping you can. First things first, I am going to put some glue tabs on here, on the ends, and on the tops. And on the top here. Okay. We're going to hold those in, pull it up. Actually, I'm going to do one at a time here. I'm going to hold it against the table to give me some security. All right. Oops, that one's not, doesn't have enough glue. See, I'm trying to be careful not to use too much glue, and then that happens. Okay, I'm going to stick my little thing up in there so I can push it against. Make sure it's on there, glued down. Okay, and then we're going to close it up like a box. Put these in. Now, there's a little piece here and a long one. I'm going to put the little piece in and put the long one on top. It doesn't matter though, because we're going to cover this part up with covering panels anyway. Whoa. That's probably way too much glue. All right, so for that reason, I keep a little thing of toothpicks. Actually, it's super cute. My daughter brought it back from Japan and gave it to me. And I keep it in my craft room. All right, like I said, this part we're not going to worry about too much. It is going to be covered. Here are the covering panels for our base. You are going to want to let your box dry thoroughly, the box meaning the base, but we're going to get a move on here. So I'm going to put these off to the side. These are the side pieces, and here are the front and the back pieces. Okay, so the side pieces we are going to put right there. So see, when I said that it didn't really matter how well it lined up or what it looked like, I meant it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue here. I think you're gonna wanna be a little more careful, but you also don't wanna spend all day watching me do this, so. Okay, fits right on there, covers everything up good. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side and to the front. Oh, that glue is not very great. You're gonna wanna be a little more careful with your glue. Okay, so we got the front side, the back side. The two ends are going to be covered with the smaller pieces. You'll have the front and the back. Okay, now we have the side pieces on. We've got the front, the back. This is the front, actually, with the opening. The back and the two side pieces. Okay, before we add the house to it, we're gonna wanna put the path. The path is going to go right up against there, right up against the edge. This path, I embossed with my Big Shot. And I think the embossing folder, yeah, this is the embossing folder. It's a Tim Holtz Sizzix Alteration brand. I don't know if this is still made or not, but they have all kinds of cool embossing folders out there. Or you can not use an embossing folder and it looks just as fun, if not more. I made a house, I made a house earlier and used a little candy paper, and it made it look like trick-or-treaters were going to down a little path made of candy. That was pretty cute too. Okay, now we got this on. We're gonna set it aside and we're gonna move right along. All right, this is the alcove piece. The alcove piece can be a little bit tricky, and the main reason why, well, we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, here's an abundance of glue. So I'm gonna swipe some of that off. You know, this is not my first rodeo. I really don't know why I use so much glue, but I do. Okay, we're gonna put that little bit at the top. We're gonna glue that together. Easy peasy. Then we're gonna do the insides. Now you'll notice one of them matches better. I like to put the deeper cut on the outside. Okay. And here we go. I'm gonna stick this down in here and push it up against there. Hold it just for a second, let it dry. Oopsie. But I gotta hold it for just a second first. I'm actually a little nervous. This is my first assembly video. So I did a video one other time and the YouTube trolls had a field day. So I quit doing it. Okay, there is no tabs here to make it easier. Because really, they're not needed. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna attach this part to the front. We're gonna line the bottom up with the bottom and we're gonna put some glue on here. And I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna show you what I mean by not needed. Your roof line is gonna go down deep enough that it's just not necessary. Okay, and we're gonna center it here. We're gonna center the bottom against the bottom, and we're gonna center the top point against the top point, and we're putting it on now so that we can reach in, whoopsie, and get the glue tab secured, because it's hard to do when it's in an upright position. All right, so we're just gonna stick our hand in there. I can stick this in there. sit for just a second. Scoop some of that extra. Okay. All right, okay. I am going to add a little bit of glue to the base, or a lot of glue to the base. Okay, let's take some of that off. All right, and we're going to center this so that the little alcove piece is along the path. Okay, I'm going to go into the back, make sure it's somewhat centered, which it appears to be. I'm going to stick this down in there, rub it along. Whoops, get it to stick good. Okay, now I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, so I'm going to set it aside. Now we're going to work on the second story. It's got some double-sided tape on the glue tabs, which are optional at this point, but I went ahead and did them so we can go ahead and get things moving. We're going to add some glue down here so we can close up the box. Match it up with the score lines there, and I'm going to wipe off the excess. Oops. I love Halloween projects because it doesn't matter if they're a little messy. Still looks cute. Actually, probably more so. Okay, good to go. Now we have the little box for the second story. This should be about dry now, so we are going to go ahead and remove the glue tabs from up here. Whatever adhesive you want to use is just fine. There we go. All right, here is our roof piece. Depending on what one you want, I used the one with the score lines to make it easy, but you can use either one. Now, we've got this double-sided, so all we need to do is add a little pressure with the glue line. We are going to do it with the back facing because I want this part here to line up here. And I want to make sure it lines up well. Okay. And you're going to have an overhang on both sides, and you're going to have an overhang in the front as well as the back. And there you go. It's down there good. We're good to go. Same thing. This one I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. And we're just going to cover it there, add a little. Alright, I'm going to put it in there and push it up against the back. See? There you go. Okay, we have the first story done. Now let's go ahead and add the second story. The second story, I also added the glue tabs for, but you can use regular adhesive if you'd like. Okay, now with this piece, I want these windows to be somewhat lined up. It doesn't have to be exact, but somewhat. So I'm going to take this and kind of line up the windows there, and we're going to push straight down. Make sure it's pretty good over here. Okay, now that we've got that on, we're going to go ahead and add the top roof piece. This piece is this one, and we're just going to fold them down, or you can leave some of them up. It doesn't really matter. And then we are going to put some adhesive right here. Oops. And right here. And push that down, and that hides all the ugliness on the inside from gluing. Okay. Now we're going to work on some of this. This piece right here, I'm going to set this off to the side just for a moment. This piece right here is the fencing. The fencing has little teeny tiny, I'm sure you can't see them on camera, little teeny tiny score lines that make it fold up really easy. So when you get it folded up, now on each side there's also a little tiny one that makes it fold like that. Okay, so we are going to fold it like that. Oops, got out of frame. Okay, so we're going to add a little smidgen of glue, and we are going to just pinch it closed for just a second or two. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here. Fold it in, add a smidgen of glue. Okay, there we go. Fold this one in. Oops. Let's get it there. It's starting to get overcast. Hope you can see okay. All right, we're gonna hold that one for a second. If they pop out, that's all right. We'll just add more glue. Oops. Okay, and this piece. I was thinking, wouldn't this be cute with pink and like an apricot color for like that pastel-Halloween I've seen trending here, where they use pastels, pinks, and purples. It's kind of cute. Okay, now that this part's done, I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. And we're going to set it right smack on top and hold that in place for just a second. Okay, there we go. Probably one of the more difficult pieces is the 3D tombstones. I love the tombstones. I think they came out really cute. I made a bunch of them here. And for these, I added some ink to them to give them like a really worn look, like they've been sitting in the, like they've been sitting outside for a long time. We also, to do them, I used these, which are ColorBox Blends from Eileen Hall, but look how easy it is. See, so you can add some ink. Let it dry thoroughly. I love these things. They're pretty great. So I just keep them in a little basket on my desk. The accessories are a fun part of this project, and it's fun to put them together. So here's the front and the back of the tombstone. They're identical, so it doesn't really matter which. There is a small glue tab on the bottom. That's to secure it once you get it put together, so don't worry about that. This long strip is the part that's going to go around. I'm going to take a bone folder or something and just kind of get it going with a little curve here, and then I'm going to bend all of the pieces in, and that'll kind of help get them trained to go that way. So we're going to bend both of them inwards, just like this. Okay. There are little tiny marks on the top. I don't know if you can see that or not, the little tiny marks. Those are there because it kind of helps keep its curve so it doesn't want to go flipping back up. all right? And it adds a cute little decorative touch to the tombstones. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna add a little bit of glue. Okay, maybe more than a little bit. And we're gonna wipe some of that off, just on the first couple tabs. Then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna hold it right up. You can see that glue line, or excuse me, that score line is meeting in the corner. I hope you can see that. Then you know you're on your way to making a cute little tombstone. So let's hold that and let it dry for just a second. Okay, you can see on the other side. And now we're just gonna kind of flip this up a little bit and add some glue. All the way down to the end. All right, this is a tombstone. It does not matter if you get glue everywhere because it is going to be cute. Take some of that extra off. Okay, I'm going to put my finger on the inside here and I am going to just kind of move it along and kind of hold it. Here's what I'm doing on the other side. It's just kind of pushing it in with my finger like that and just kind of moving it along. Okay, it's easier to do it this way than to do it all at once. So as you can see, that's lining up really nicely. Around the curve, take an extra second to hold it. It'll be great. We're gonna do the same thing, hold it from the inside. I'm gonna add a little more glue right there because that's like a stress mark. Okay. All right. Keep going around. I promise you, this is might be the more challenging part, but once you get doing it, it's not hard at all. All right, there we go. So now we have the front attached to the sides, just like that. Now, make sure this glue tab sticks out beyond it, okay? Because we're gonna fold that inward. So we don't want that. So make sure, let's get a little extra off there. I've got my finger on the inside and I'm pressing down just to make sure it's good and snug. Okay, now, whoops. Now that this part is on there and it's on there secured, we're gonna go in and we're gonna add some more glue to these lines. I'm trying to get close to the edge, but not so close that it's gonna ooze out everywhere. All right. Take a little off there. Okay. Now I'm going to use this handy dandy little folder we got going. I'm going to start at the top this time and I'm going to kind of hold it in place there and then go down the side. See, I'm getting a little there, but that's okay. It's a tombstone. I'm going to stick this up on the inside here so that I could press against, to keep the tabs pressed against there. All right, and then I'm going to go back up here, hold it, and do the same thing. Get that up there. I know it's small, which makes it kind of weird to do, but you can do it. All right, so there we go. Once that dries, that'll hardly be noticeable. If it bothers you, you can always, since it's a tombstone, there, I just added more glue with my finger. You can always just buff it off with a little emery board. These are cheap as could be. You don't need this expensive sanding thing. Or add some more of the inks. Okay, so that's good. So I'm gonna let this one dry. And meanwhile, I have this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this one to the back. You know what, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and add the cool spider web. The spider web meets at the point. You just fold the tabs back, okay? And then we're gonna add some glue. And for the last one I did, I've done a couple of these. And for the last one I did, I added one of the double-sided glue things. And I think I liked it better. The double-sided tape, I mean. And we're just gonna put it right up in there. Right up in there and hold. Okay, now we're going to add the tombstone, which is easy peasy because we already added some double-sided tape here that's super strong. So you're just gonna take the tape off of the glue tabs and you're just gonna go, and there you go. You got a tombstone. Isn't that cute? Came out pretty good. So now that we've done that, I have a couple other things I wanna add. One of them is the panels. So we're gonna take these little wood panels and I added some texture with an embossing folder. It was the Echo Park Paper Celebrate Autumn embossing folder. Worked pretty good because these are pretty small. You don't need like a lot of dimension. The window board's on. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on each end, and I am going to stick them down. You could actually do this part before you put on. Oops, that's all right. Loose. And now to get the to get a little dimension on that, I cut up a blue dot, a dimensional foam adhesive dot, or you could use a glue dot, just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm gonna put the top one, oops, get that extra paper out of there. And I'm gonna put the top one right there. There you go. That's how easy that is. I have a couple other cute little elements. Let's see, we have the bats. There's two. You can put them anywhere you need a little extra spookiness. For this bat, I went ahead and added some ink, completely optional. And a pumpkin, which I didn't even put on there. And look how cute he is. Isn't he cute? So the pumpkin's super simple to put together. It's just 3 pieces. You have the back so that you could see the little green stem coming out, and then you have the black piece, the shadow layer. Now, if it doesn't fit on there perfectly, this is also not symmetrical. If it doesn't fit, move it over, and obviously it goes this way now. But that's why. So just flip it over if it doesn't fit. It's hard to tell when you're using solid colors. And then you go ahead and add the front layer, and bam, you got a cute little pumpkin. All right, so now you've done your bats, your pumpkins, you've got all of your little boards to put on. You've got all these cute little elements to make a cute little Halloween decoration. So enjoy making it, play with it. It's cute enough that, you know, you can... Okay, now you have all your elements done, your bat, your pumpkin, your board, your tombstones. So you are done. You can decorate it however you like. This one's pretty basic, but you could put all kinds of cute little things on there. Well, thank you so much for crafting with me today, and I hope you enjoy the project. Have a good day. Bye.